Hey guys, welcome back to Base MMA. Today I'm going to be giving my official prediction for Charles Oliveira versus Beneil Dariush that takes place next weekend at UFC 289, guys. And for me, this is the main event. This is the fight that I'm most looking forward to in next week's card. I think I speak for most of us that we don't really care about Amanda Nunes versus Irene Aldana, if I'm being totally honest. And the card overall for UFC 289, guys, is kind of weak. But the next pay-per-views are going to be pretty good, the ones in July especially. So I just want to talk about Charles Oliveira versus Beneil Dariush, guys, and I'm just going to cut to the chase. I believe that Charles Oliveira is going to finish Beneil Dariush, guys. I've been seeing these narratives forming about Beneil Dariush that I don't necessarily agree. I think the guy's a great fighter, a great person. I like who he is outside the cage, but I don't like this narrative that's been forming that this guy's like an Islam Makachev and he's just gonna destroy Charles Oliveira, like, and he's gonna be the same as Islam, and he's gonna TKO Charles and then he's gonna go to the ground and submit him like Islam did. Like, I don't agree with that narrative, guys. And just to you correct some of those facts, like 5% of Beneil Dariush's fights are KO, TKO, 8% are a submission, and 86% of Beneil Dariush's fights are decision. So the guy's a decision machine. So this whole narrative that he's Islam Makachev and blah blah blah, bunch of crap. And you know who I'm talking about. There's some YouTubers out there saying that kind of crap, and I'm like, you're absolutely delusional. And I know that people like to point out the most obvious flaw in Charles Oliveira's game, which is his striking defense, his chin. He does get dropped a lot, and that's why it's kind of hard to root for him. Not root for him, I mean, it's kind of hard to bet on him winning because there's always that chance that his chin gets cracked and he doesn't get up from that. But I don't think it's his chin necessarily that is weak. I do think his striking defense is bad. So he's getting hit clean by these strikers like Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Michael Chandler. So that makes him drop. Like, obviously, if you're getting hit clean by any of those guys, you're going down. Even if you have a good chin, like, I don't care if you have the most amazing chin. You're gonna go down if you're getting hit like that. If you're getting caught by a hook by Dustin Poirier, you're gonna go down. So that's what I have to say about that, guys. And I went back and we watched some of Beneil Dariush's fight because I wanted to see like I remember watching the Gamrot fight and the Tony Ferguson fight live, but I was like, I need to go back and really rewatch those fights and really see like what people are saying, because I think people became so disappointed by Charles Oliveira's performance against Islam Makachev that has made them form this narrative that Charles Oliveira sucks and he's honestly being underestimated big time, big time. And I think people are forgetting that he did have success against Islam Makachev in the first round, and he didn't get submitted and stuff like that. I did think he looked a little bit off on the feet against Islam Makachev right off the bat, even before he got hurt and caught and stuff like that. But I also think that had to do with Islam Makachev's striking defense, which Beneil Dariush does not have, guys. He does not have that striking defense. Just because he landed an overhand right on Gamrot, who's a grappler, who Gamrot has absolutely no hands, doesn't mean that he's gonna do that to Charles Oliveira, because I've been seeing people say that and I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Also, another thing that I noticed, Beneil Dariush hasn't fought anybody like Charles Oliveira that's just a pressure fighter. Like, he's usually the one pressuring. Like, he was the one pressuring Gamrot, and he was having a lot of success. He was dictating the pace. The pace was more to his style. Beneil Dariush would land some strikes, and then he would shoot for a takedown and stuff like that. And it's a pattern that I saw in a lot of Beneil Dariush's fight, which is he'll strike for a little bit and then he'll shoot for a takedown. And I don't know if that's necessarily smart against Charles Oliveira, who has good grappling and has dangerous BJJ. Like, if Beneil Dariush makes a mistake trying to shoot for a takedown, Charles Oliveira is going to submit him. And that's another thing. Like, I don't think people are talking about that. I don't think enough people are talking about the pressure. I think Charles Oliveira brings a crazy pressure. Am I scared that he's going to get caught? Possibly. And there is a chance that Beneil Dariush wins this fight because Charles Oliveira's striking defense is that bad. But I do think people are underestimating, and I do think this is a closer fight than people are making it seem like, because people are saying that Beneil Dariush is just going to destroy Charles Oliveira, that Charles Oliveira is done, that he's a new Tony Ferguson, that he's washed. And I think that narrative is absolutely false. Like, yeah, he lost to a very good guy that we didn't know had that great of a striking in Islam Makachev. And now people are saying that Beneil Dariush is in the same level as Islam Makachev. Like, that's absolutely ridiculous, guys. And I think the guy has become a little bit overrated. I do like Beneil Dariush, but I just do believe he's become a little bit overrated, and I believe that Charles Oliveira has become a little bit underrated. And I think this is a similar case to Rafael Fiziev versus Justin Gaethje, where a lot of people were underestimating Justin Gaethje by the way he lost to Charles Oliveira and not really picking him to win against Fiziev. And then everybody was like, oh my god, I guess Gaethje's not washed, blah blah blah, Charles Oliveira's that good. And I think something similar is going to happen in this fight, where Charles Oliveira is going to do a lot better than people expect, and then people are going to be like, oh, I guess Dariush just sucks. Or because that's what they were saying after the Gaethje fight. Oh, I guess Fiziev just sucks. No, I don't think so, guys. I think you guys are just underestimating these top 5 lightweights, and people want to push this narrative that the new lightweights are coming and they're just going to take over the division and that they're going to get rid of the Gaethjes, the Dustin Poiriers. But those guys still, those guys are very good fighters, guys, and they're being underestimated. I do believe that Charles Oliveira is a more technical striker. I think he has the power to catch Beneil Dariush. I rewatched one of Beneil Dariush's fights. I think it was against this guy named Ferreira, and I think it was about 2 years ago because it was in the Apex and there was no crowd. And I saw that he was getting caught by a lot of front kicks, and when he gets into a slugfest, he'll just stand there and let himself get hit. And don't get me wrong, like, he has power, so I think he kind of get away with that. But Charles Oliveira also has power, guys. Like, he mixes it up pretty good. He throws really good knees and really good elbows and stuff like that. So really good front kicks. So I could definitely see him catching Beneil Dariush. The one thing that does concern me, I could see a sequence, and I forgot the fighter that Beneil Dariush did this to, but it was the one where he won by KO, where he got rocked and then he finished the other guy. Like, I hope that doesn't happen. Like, I could see maybe Charles Oliveira catching him with something, and Charles Oliveira thinks he hasn't really hurt, and then Beneil Dariush comes back and catches him. You know what I'm saying? I could definitely see something like that happening, guys. But I think Charles Oliveira can win this fight by submission or KO or TKO. And Beneil Dariush, I think he could win the fight by KO. And I mean a clean KO where Charles Oliveira doesn't get up. Because I feel like even if Charles gets dropped, like, I don't think Beneil Dariush is going to be that good to just go down to the floor with Charles and for Charles to get submitted like he did against Islam Makachev. And I do think that fight is a little bit like, I'm going to give Charles Oliveira the benefit of the doubt because he didn't look like himself in that fight. I don't know what. I don't know if it was the nerves, like he was fighting in Abu Dhabi. I don't know if, the flight there and stuff like that. I don't know what happened, but he just didn't look like himself. He didn't look as confident as he usually looked, like how confident he went into that Dustin Poirier fight, the Justin Gaethje fight, I would say even the Michael Chandler fight. And the guy goes through a lot of adversity in these fights. And I just don't think Beneil Dariush is as defensively sound as somebody like Islam Makachev. I'm going to compare a little bit of Beneil Dariush to a little bit of Justin Gaethje in the fact that they throw a lot of like powerful strikes, but sometimes they do like overextend, and I could see Charles making him pay a little bit similar to how he made Justin Gaethje pay. And that's kind of something I noticed. Like, Beneil Dariush does have power in his hands, but I think Charles Oliveira is just a lot more technical. I think he has more tools in his striking. He could throw kicks up the middle, knees. He has a good left hand, stuff like that. And I just think he's going to KO Beneil Dariush, guys. So that's my official prediction for this fight. Let me know down in the comments below if you disagree with my take, if you think Beneil Dariush is going to finish Charles Oliveira, if you think that chin is just gone, which are fair points, guys. But I do think that people are underestimating Charles Oliveira here. And I hope he gets it done, guys. I hope he gets it done. And I think he has a really good chance to beat Beneil Dariush and potentially fight Islam Makachev again, even though I don't think I would pick him to beat Islam Makachev if they were to fight again. And in a way, I do kind of want to see Beneil Dariush fight for the title, but I think Charles Oliveira is going to surprise a lot of people. I think a lot of people are sleeping on him because of his last performance, which is totally fair. But if you look at the tape for Beneil Dariush, like, he's not doing phenomenal things, guys. He's not doing like crazy things. Like, he doesn't have like crazy names in his resume, in my opinion, guys. So anyway, that's all for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.